Welcome to the Terminal 1 podcast. I'm your host with the most, Charlene, and I am joined today by someone from the other side, someone who knows more than we know. Roy, welcome to the Terminal 1 podcast.
Hey, Charlie. I know nothing like Jon Snow, but
come
like
on.
you said, you're the host of the most. The most what? Like what?
Wouldn't you like to know, mister?
Yeah, I'm competitive. I want to be the most. Like I want to know what
wanna-
you're the most at, so I can.
For now, you can be the you can be the guest with the most.
Okay, cool.
And I'm the host of the most. So,
Alright,
we're on par to some
Alright,
extent.
cool. Yeah, the most.
So what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. You know, I'm a very competitive person, a very jealous person. So like, I've seen you interview other people, and I'm just I be hating because you're my person. You know. So I really ran to come and have a conversation with you. So I'm glad to be here.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking the time from your busy day. I know you'll be doing a lot of this and that. So yeah, speaking of, what is it that you do? Who are you? What do you do, man?
Primarily, my main job is not sleeping, but I'll term myself as a creator, a designer, and an artist, because those are like the three things where it's like, okay, if you're a creator, you produce also. If you're an artist, people are like, oh, he makes music, he draws. If you're a designer, it's like, oh, cool, he designs, graphic design, videography, a bunch of stuff, So yeah, a little bit of this and that, very thoughtful with what I do.
With what you do, so you just do everything. A walking Adobe Premiere Suite.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And how would you describe your music taste, man? Like the way you're dressed right now.
Yeah.
You're dressed as a preppy boy. You listen to some Vivaldi.
I can't beat the allegations. Like people, I can't even hide it. I stick out like a sore thumb. No one's ever saying, "Yo, let's give that guy the aux. He's gonna play Silent Killer or something." But then I listen to a smorgasbord of stuff. I say smorgasbord because that's kind of terms your music, like my music taste.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm never pass me the aux. Because I'm the kind of person who I will never play consistently like 3 songs that everybody likes.
Yeah.
I'll play one song and then you're like, cool, who's this? I've never heard this artist before. It's great. And then the next song is like, yo, why are you playing some upcoming Ukrainian yodelay singer?
Yodelay? Oh my God.
I just mix it up. I mix it up. So I'm always discovering new artists every day. I listen to a lot of bands. So possibly indie music is hip hop, indie, and rock.
So in a nutshell, you're polyamorous.
Yeah, again, thoughtful with my music taste.
Fantastic. So with that response, right? Which Zim artists do you listen to? Give me your top 3.
So primarily since I listen to hip hop, I'd say no, but then I listen to a lot of Panache.
Yeah.
Great artist. I listen to a lot of Sun because I listen primarily on Spotify. So listen to a lot of Sun. I listen to a lot of what have I been listening to these days? Listen to Zolani. Zolani's cool.
Zolani's dope. Yeah.
But I listen to upcoming artists every day. I listen to a new Zim hip hop artist every day because they're probably more upcoming rappers in Zim than doctors. It's so every day it's little trapper,
little rapper.
It's new this. It's like 2013 when there was a new Ras what in dancehall.
Yo, Ras Pompi. Shout out to you, by the way. I actually used to go to the same school as Ras Pompi.
Live.
Talented dude.
Okay.
But Jama Ningi, Ningi, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I heard of Ja Praiser, I legitimately thought it was a dancehall dude.
Yeah, because of the name.
He actually did start in dancehall, and then he pivoted and is
because most people usually if you find out their trajectory, they started hip hop. If you hear Confused, if you hear there's so many, I think Enzo, there's so many artists that you hear no, they were rappers first. Even I'm a piano artist, so it's unique. But then of course his name is Ja Praiser, but then now he's singing about ancestors and stuff,
which is pretty cool.
Ja praising still.
Yeah, exactly.
in a way. So
So he was actually pretty smart with that name. Very, very smart. So what is it about them that draws you to them? Music, Zolani and Panache.
Local artists. Because I'm very invested in the industry because
Yeah.
also like I'm a participant. So I listen to like, okay, what's out there, what are people doing, and just like seeing people's different takes on. So the ones that like the people that like kind of like stray from the norm are the ones
Yeah.
that I'm really 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 drawn to. Like, okay, cool, this guy's doing something different. Like no one makes music like Panache and Zim.
Yeah.
No one really makes music like Sun and Zim. It's a bit different compared to like a lot of like artists that you find. So yeah, I think the little differences are what like. Plus, like I like cool stuff, bro. Like if you look cool, like I'll tap
I'm
in.
gonna
You
be
know,
drawn
like
to you for sure.
yeah. Like I'm very visceral about it.
Awesome, fantastic. So I need to look cool.
Yeah,
First of all,
yeah.
for you
Like,
to give me a chance
yeah,
at
I have
least.
low standards. I'm sorry. Just like you look cool, it's fine.
That's enough for
I'll
me.
give you a
Let's go.
listen.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Let's go. All right, fantastic. So, like, how do you usually discover artists? Is it your algorithm on Spotify, or will you be scrolling just like many of us do?
Because with the Zim algorithm, like it's a bit messed up, so
Yeah.
you won't really get new artists. Like I think my AI was telling me like end of last year that Zim hip hop increased like by 200%, like the listeners, but then 50% of the top three artists, like the top three artists are responsible for 50% of those streams.
wow.
So you'll always get like mostly the same references and referrals, but then mostly new artists I find them like from playlists, like other
Yeah.
people's playlists. I know you have a fire playlist. So yeah, playlists. Like someone that I respect will have a cool fire playlist and be like, yo, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that
Yeah.
guy? And then WhatsApp groups, because like I keep my ear to the ground. So like I like see a new rapper every day. I see
Yeah.
a new artist every day. Listen to a new band every day because of like social media and just staying
Yeah.
tapped in.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So, like, what would make you attend a local musician's show? Not a festival that they're
Oh,
part
okay.
of the lineup. They're the one it's their show. So, for example, you know how Domain Youth had that thing? Let's say it's not Domain Youth because you
Oh,
like
okay.
Sun.
Oh, okay.
But it's someone else. And you're free, you've got the money, you've got the time. What will actually make you say, okay, fine, let me give these guys a chance?
Oh, okay. So I'm very discerning with like the events that I like
Yeah.
attend and all that. Because also, busy schedules. It's hard. Like, there's probably people busier than me that also don't just go out
Go out.
places.
Yeah.
But me particularly, like you have to be worth it. Like there's so many artists where you go out and see them perform, and then there's people that know this guy, probably have them in their playlist,
Yeah.
but like they act like they don't know them. Never been to a show and like someone's like singing at 3 p.m. and like there's three people in front of the stage,
Yep.
and everybody else is just loitering in the back because I feel like it has to feel like the IKEA effect.
Yeah.
So I have to feel like going to your show also benefits me in some way, like not just entertainment, but like I feel like I'm building something
Yeah.
with you. So even if you're an upcoming artist, like people like to like the value that they place on something that they helped build is very like it's greater. So if you're an upcoming artist and if I go to your show, I feel like, oh cool, I've contributed to your story and your growth.
Yeah.
So yeah, like those are the kind of shows that I'd go to, and yeah, that's what it takes for me to really just like step out. Like, yeah, cool, let me go support this guy because
Yeah.
I feel like I'm part of it.
I'm part of it.
There's so many instances where you kind of don't feel like you're part of it, or you feel like, hey, if I don't want to be part of that.
Yeah.
Like that's not the brand that I want to
I wanna be
vibe with.
associated with, yeah.
And that's because the artist is terrible or anything, but it's just branding. Like
Yeah.
it's mostly branding. Because we live in a social media age. Everybody is kind of brand conscious. Like
Yeah.
even without saying it, even if it's not like you could be Charlene, but then you're a brand, you know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't associate yourself with certain things.
Certain people, certain characters, certain etc like that. Okay. I get it. So for example, if artist X is in partnership with a brand you don't find quite tasteful,
Yeah.
which is brand X, and then probably brand X is sponsoring
Or like
that
the event.
artist.
Oh yeah. But then it's not as deep as that. Like
Yeah.
where it's actual like brands.
Yeah.
Where it's like no, I don't want to go there because such and such company is
Yeah.
sponsoring it. Partly like because it's probably just the image. Like it starts from the artist in of itself. It starts from like it's a holistic thing. It starts
Yeah.
from like even down to your like your album covers, your music, your like the way you dress, the way you present yourself on social media.
Yeah.
Like because everybody's trying to build a name for themselves, they don't want to attach themselves to a name that's like on a downward trajectory. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. So there's a lot of things that like people don't associate themselves with, which is not primarily like even your, like, it could be your beliefs, it could be, but then it could be something even very, very small. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not cool. Do you remember like hip hop in 2013? Like, especially like us talking to Yao, like
Yeah.
trying to tell Shorty, like, yo, I listen to Zim hip hop. She'll look at you like, what the?
What the heck are you listening
Like,
to? Do you not have Trace?
Yeah, like, yeah.
Do you not listen to Urban
exactly.
Hit
So, but
30?
then now, you know, it's more respectable to say
Yeah.
you listen to Zim hip hop. But there was a time where, like, that was a secret you would die
It
with. You
was-
were sending that to the grave.
It was gouache.
Like, it was like deleting your browser history or deleting your playlist. Like, like, hey, God forbid.
But yeah,
So,
nah,
yeah.
I get it. All right, cool. So, do you or would you purchase merch from an artist you vibe with? So let's say,
Yeah.
because I know for
Yeah.
sure Panache,
Yeah,
or Panache.
yeah.
I don't really know how he pronounces his name, but I
Panache,
like it. Panache. It's got that pizzazz. Panache has some really interesting album arts for like even for all his singles.
Yeah.
They're very interesting, and he has a certain tone that he'll be moving with. So it's green, different shades of green. You know, I wasn't really a fan of green, but I was like, man,
What did he discover?
he's making it seem kind of
Yeah,
cool.
no, like, it is, branding is everywhere. Like,
Exactly.
you seen grass, like, that's
Exactly.
great.
Cheese,
Repping Panache.
you know, nature. You see, that's smart branding right there.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fandom. Like, I watch a lot of anime. I watch a lot of like pop culture stuff,
Yeah.
and I buy a lot of like merch. So yes,
definitely
even
would.
like partook in like selling merch for like an album release. Like, merch is like one of those underutilized like things. It's probably because like there's certain people that have followings, but they've just not managed to like translate it into like the thing that their like that their fan base like buys. Because
Yeah.
merch, people think merch and then they think t-shirts.
T-shirts.
But then like there's so many things. Like there's so many things. The Volts was on like books, I think. I haven't seen
Yeah,
them
he
personally,
was.
but like you see, it's things that like the younger generation are gonna buy because
Yeah.
there's a huge contingent of like high school kids, primary school kids that are his fans. So people should just like branch out into like a bunch of things and try and get like as much as possible.
As much, yeah,
You
that
know,
is true. Because I mean,
But put your face on, you know, on anything,
on
you know.
even, on even jiggies. Because
Yeah.
I remember in primary school,
I was just-
we'd have those little
oh yeah, the
John
ones with the
Cena
wrestlers.
with the
Yeah,
wrestlers and
bro,
da-da-da.
it'd be weird seeing like a Saint Flow, like because for example, things that make sense like the Van Sugar energy drink. I don't
Yeah.
know why that never really like became a thing.
Yeah,
but like
but that was
people
pretty
kind of saw
smart.
it. Like, and I think I saw memes about it. So people can look into that and try and
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. Like, just need to people. I feel like what you say. People, if you talk about merch, people are gonna immediately jump into t-shirts.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, yes, they have like a longer lifespan, but it's more expensive to make. And okay, it's not that expensive to make a t-shirt, but when you sell a t-shirt, you're selling it for like $15 ish.
Oh no, it's like the margins. Like, but then that also depends on the quality. Because there's like a lot
Yeah.
of brands that have found ways to. Because okay, my take, just like free game, I'd say t-shirts. When you make them, it's not particularly like, okay, cool, we want to make a killing off a profit. We just
Yeah.
like to buy cheap t-shirts and put like whatever brand on it, and then they're moving billboards for artists. Like if you have your face or your art or whatever on a t-shirt, the marketing in and of itself kind of like adds to
itself,
the
yeah.
value of the thing. So yeah, so you shouldn't like look at it like, okay, cool, I've printed this t-shirt, now I have to sell it for 30 or whatever to break even. You need to kind of look at like, I need to sell as many as possible, because if someone wears this and goes out and takes a picture, like that's
It's
timeless.
plastic,
Like 5 years
exactly.
from now, the picture that they wore, like they're still marketing your stuff like 5 years from now. So it's just stuff that people need to just like
really think
Yeah.
about and get into. Because to be honest, it's a lost art. I have Nirvana t-shirts. I've never been to a Nirvana concert.
Yeah, but
I
like-
probably know like 3 songs.
and you're gonna probably give that to your kid, or someone else is gonna wear it. Like
It's gonna be
someone
tight.
else is gonna rock it well, and then it just kind of becomes like part of fashion, because like and then it just kind of gains value, because people think like, okay, cool, if I start a brand and if I say it's $50, then cool, it's like now an expensive luxury brand, it should
Yeah.
mean anything. But like when you make a brand, you kind of build it, and it needs to like, you know, like over time. So when you do make a t-shirt or whatever fashion piece you make, right? You kind of need to give it that time to kind of like become a staple. Like so don't just like set a price on something and say, yeah, that's the price of it, and then no one's wearing it. Even if it's somewhat cheap, but if it's quality, people will like
continue and they'll buy more.
I know brands that have just done well and stayed, like, you know, Stars 29.
Stars 29 is elite.
Is for years they like, it's consistent, and it's not like, you know, they print like things that you've never seen before. A t-shirt, like t-shirts will sell out because they mean something. And it's not because of like they came through and they said, no, these t-shirts are $150. No, like they found a way to like turn, like to create give it cultural significance. Like so I kind of like would hope that artists or musicians in general find ways to like transition the things that they do and give them cultural significance, and then you'll become a mainstay that way. So
that is so true,
merch is one way, the way you present yourself. So like brand, the music, everything basically.
Counts. Everything counts, to be honest, because you can't just make some music, drop it. Yeah, sure. Because I know for sure, like currently who's doing it? Garatia. Right. For the longest time, his tag last year was Pimurai Dzose. Like he would
fire
rap.
Album, by the way.
Fire album. The name of the album, Pimurai Dzose. In some bars, he'd say, Pimurai Dzose. I don't even know what that means, but I was shouting it and putting it on my story, saying,
because like I think last year, like he just took a huge step forward with everything that he does. Like, so I usually think like with artists, there's like kind of 3 levels. Like there's the establishing yourself, like there's being known, so like the first level, then there's establishing yourself, and then there's like becoming like legendary, like becoming an icon. So like he kind of took that step by like upping the branding, upping everything. Like his videos, he's got Ronan shooting his videos, he kind of like did like a whole like full throttle approach to everything that he does, because like especially in an industry where a lot of people like make mistakes or don't make the right decisions. Like I'd say mistakes and making bad decisions are like 2 nuanced different things. So I'd kind of look at it as like, especially with Zim hip hop, for example, I would say in Zim hip hop, like Zim hip hop is like a garden, right? Where everybody is planting seeds, but then like like everybody's planting seeds, but then people forget to water those seeds. Like you find a lot of artists that plant seeds, like, okay, cool, this guy did some cool thing or dropped a fire track and then just leaves it there. The climate is right, the weather is right, everything, all the conditions are there, perfect. But then you just don't water those seeds, or like, you know, you don't fertilize it, you don't let it grow, and then you become like Arsenal, where every season is next season. You know, like, cool, I planted a seed, it didn't grow. Next season. Next time. But then like I feel like people should water those seeds, and Garati is one of those people that managed to, like, you know, water the seeds. I think he's all night like a jerrycan or whatever
every day, putting some extra top extra to the love.
It's a lot of people doing some good stuff in the industry, and a lot of people still trying to figure out their way.
Which isn't bad, to be honest. So awesome. Like, you're right. Like, just people just need to just make sure if the conditions are optimum. Like right now, it's been a beautiful year for Zim hip hop. If you're a Zim hip hop artist, you might as well just hop on the wave and just try to push your stuff. We're in social media, bro. We're in the age of social media. Yo, social media, guys. So you need to make sure that, you know, reach as many people as you can. With that being said, Roy, we're talking a lot about Zim hip hop.
Okay.
Let's put that aside.
All right.
Let's put the hip hop aside. What genres do you feel are missing in the Zim music industry?
Genres that I think are missing is shaky, but then I'd say genres that I think need a bit of like for example, it's just like the whole Sungura wave, for example. Like Sungura in and of itself, it's one of Zimbabwe's like most iconic genres, like where we can say this is ours. But then because the barrier to entry is like so hard, like in any other genre, like anyone with FL Studio can just like start making trap beats and then start rapping. But then to like get into Sungura, you kind of like need a band or need a guitar or need to be inducted. So the younger cats have like, you haven't had like young Sungura stars, like, and I'm like, you know, a 20-year-old doing crazy new things, pushing the genre, like where the same way with Amapiano and SA. Every year there was like Gom, there was this, there was Kwaito. Like, so I'd feel like that's one. And then of course like one of my genres like that I love, like rock music.
Yeah.
It's one of those underutilized ones. I like what Internet Money and SA is doing. Like
Yeah.
they're like a full-fledged band, and like it's one of those things where in the digital age, especially if like artists want to say, okay, cool, we want to look for numbers and stuff, there's so many playlists that you can get onto.
Yeah.
Where the genres are like untapped. And because Zimbabwean kids like from this side of like, you know, like kids from this side of like the pond have a different perspective. Like if you started making indie music, or if
Yeah.
you started making like bedroom pop, or I'm trying to think of like so many like random genres that
Yeah.
are out there, you could find like a little niche, like listen to, maybe it might even blow up to millions. Like there's so many like genres out there, you know. You just scroll on Spotify and you're like, yo, what is electronic country? Like, what is
Yeah.
that?
What is
Yeah.
the craziest one I heard last year, sorry to cut you off,
Yeah.
was Afrikaners Amapiano.
That makes sense.
That makes sense, but
I feel
also
like I've
when you
seen it on
listen to
reels.
it,
Now, like it feels very hilarious.
It's hilarious when you listen to, like, I feel like just in general, like Afrikaans has a certain
like, hey, me bro.
yeah, like it's got a certain vibe to it, right? So when you start hearing like country Afrikaans, I'm a piano Afrikaans. There's a time when I heard Gom, I'm a piano, Gom Afrikaans, and I was like, what?
That's a like a tune, that one.
Popping, like, where's my voice, sexy? Like, you know, I was ready, but like it was such a weird. It was a weird combination. It's like eating salsa
but then
with
you'd
jam.
find like people in that niche have like insane amounts of like listeners and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
So I'd probably advise like people to just. But then also it's the thing with music is like you can't just like do this with a genre and then just like
Russian roulette.
yeah like so it has to be something that speaks to you. So maybe like there hasn't really been a kid that like some of these genres is like really appealed to, and then they've chosen to like really go out and go get it. Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's a I wouldn't say diversity, but it's different because it's kind of there but not really there. So for example, you mentioned Sungura, right?
Yeah.
We have Tanto with Trapsu.
Oh yeah.
Right?
And it took him years to like polish it
and really get it out there. And I've heard, I don't know if it's true, please do not quote me on this, I heard it doesn't play the guitar. I don't know if it's true or not.
Could be possible because like he's also like a skilled beat maker.
Exactly.
I can imagine him like making a lot of those like
riffs and
on FL.
You know what I mean? So like I feel like it shouldn't really, if you want to make music, I think this is just like a word to the audience. Take my word, don't. If you really want to make music, don't say, oh my gosh, I don't have a guitar. You know, like I really want to get into Sungura, but I don't have a guitar. We've been saying this like on every episode, even in the previous season. We're in the digital age. FL. Make use of FL. It won't be as
people
authentic.
are doing crazy things.
You know what I mean?
Like
With
making sounds like that you've
wouldn't.
never heard. And like with
Exactly.
AI, like which is underutilized, like you could find ways to like incorporate any sound
into your stuff. And then with the rock that you mentioned, I don't know if it's okay. So with rock, you know, like how there's like different categories. You've got
There's
heavy
alternative,
metal,
there's post punk. Yeah, like
exactly. We've got punk. I know we have Chikwata 263.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've listened to those guys. I'll play some stuff for you. I'm just now plugging people. There's Chikwata 263. There's Man Friday. There's what Serpent's Band? Curfew at Midnight. There's Bantu Spaceships. There's Flying Bantu.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of confusing for me. I'm not even going to lie. Like, we've got Bantus that are flying. But
I mean, it feels like a very Bantu type thing.
You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I feel like it's also just a matter of just putting themselves out there. Because, like you said, you really like rock. You really love rock. And you listen to music on Spotify. So, Spotify essentially will then suggest other artists like this. So if Spotify is letting you down on that and not plugging you with like, you know, your local rock musicians, rock stars and Spotify is letting you down, or they're just not pushing their music to the right algorithm.
Yeah, because like there's underutilized things. For example, like when an artist drops a song,
Yeah.
like there's so many playlisting services where it's like, okay, cool, I've made my rock song. How best do I get it like out there?
Out
So
there.
then like there's like playlisting services or even just like playlist people, like people with playlists on Spotify, they can like hit up and be like, yeah, yo. So then once you get on that, I feel like you kind of get on the radar because it's a bigger genre than like your local genres. So you kind of get yourself in front of like millions of people that have those playlists. So yeah, no, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of like people not pushing and just like also not knowing that like, okay, cool, after I've dropped my song, there's
what I have to
ways that I can like, kind of give it that boost.
That boost. Great, cool. So earlier on, right, you did mention that you are a designer, right? You're a multimedia guru.
Thank you.
So
You're too kind.
what would you, of course, gotta put the boy on. Gotta put the boy on.
Make me blush.
So like what would you say has been like really good album art, whether it's for a single or just like branding in general, right? But album art related.
There's some that I wish I did. Like I'm trying to think, but like there's artists that have like consistently good album arts a lot of the time. I think Pro Beats is one of them. A lot of the mainstream artists, I don't know, I find them lacking very much because like they always seem like more like show posters and not album covers. But then that's
Story for a different day.
album arts.
Should I say in mine whilst you're thinking?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
I think my top 3 from the top of my head. So there's Uleni, right? Uleni Okandlovu. Forgive me if I mispronounce. Uleni Okandlovu. He dropped Wolf of Samara last year.
Yeah.
It was dope because it was like him and he had like the wolf skin thingy. That was dope. That was really, really dope. And then the one for Shoko Festival last year.
Oh, like just like the entire branding
For
around
Shoko is great.
Shoko last year was brilliant.
And then Zazize, the one with the granny, that was dope. I really loved it because stories. It's what's it called? The name of the album is Stories.
Storytellers
of yeah.
Whoever did that one,
That was
like props to
them because it was like it made sense because storytellers and it had the granny and growing up you're told no zangano nana
Hey,
go.
now I can't help but tell you like the first I did the first one, right?
Really?
And then the first one was like ancestors, like because it kind of had like the old I don't even know if I don't know if you've seen it, but it's kind of got like an old depiction of like an ancestral type being with gold chains and stuff. And then the second one is now like
face.
the other storytellers, which is our grannies, because then like growing up which was Wangano by our grannies and stuff like that. So that was kind of the thinking. So who knows what's gonna happen with the third one?
Hey, you'd give us the scoop. We ain't gonna tell nobody. It's just for like our subscribers and people tune in. But that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I feel like album art is. If it's a really, really cool album art, I would wear a T-shirt off that.
Oh yeah, no, like I think with any kind of like branding that like goes in with an artist, it's kind of like it has to, well, any move that an artist makes, it has to set you like it has to take you a different level. So it's like every time if I ever design for people and stuff, I try to take their brand like or take their image in a new direction or add a new dimension.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people like dropping songs and they're like, yo, why do I keep getting 200 monthly listeners? Why? Like they don't grow because you're not really showing a new side of yourself. And album covers are like the first thing that people see, like and before they click on the song.
It's the album cover.
And even after, like when the song isn't playing or whatever, like that's the visual that like that's the billboard. That's the thing. That's the packaging. So it has to somewhat like add a new dimension. So if it looks cheap, it's kind of like people don't like if they see like, okay, cool, this is something that I can make with Canva, or this is something that I like it doesn't. It might even be like like pricey and everything, but like just not great and doesn't make people feel anything. And then you wonder like, yo, why
are people not
why
bumping my stuff?
like you've seen when albums drop and then people are like, yo, that
The
album cover is
cover.
fire.
For
And
example-
everybody's posting it, yeah?
For example, it was but Party Next Door's album cover from last year.
Oh, yeah. Now I know the one
See,
you're talking about.
I love him. I love his
I
music.
know the
and
one you're
I
talking
love
about.
posting screenshots of songs I'm listening to. But
But
with
you
that
can't
one,
post
I was
that
like,
What? I
block
was
some
posting
people
that one.
first. Block. And then I'd post. But
like you see it kind of gets people talking. It kind of makes that album iconic. Like
Yeah.
you can close your eyes and like just picture your favorite album covers. Like though you can think about your AKAs, you can think about like there's so many like album covers that even if it's just like a person's face,
Yeah.
but the way that like
They do
the
it.
feelings that it evokes
Exactly.
and stuff. So it's not about it being intricate. And there's this thing about Zim hip hop artists, like when they come to me and they want their names,
Yeah.
and the song title and the producer's name and their date
the
of
whole
birth-
post-credit scene, bro. It's not a movie,
it's
dude.
like,
It's a song.
yeah, it's album art.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't even need like
All
the
that.
text and stuff. Yeah. So artists need to kind of like look at it everywhere, because there's this thing where artists want to pay for the beat, right? They want to pay for the studio time, and then after that they just think, okay, cool, I've made a song, now it's gonna go viral. But then we're in a very visual age. You're not just gonna post your song on Instagram without visuals
exactly.
accompanying it, and not every visual is going to be you dancing and doing TikTok challenges. Sometimes you need like something that you're going to put on a t-shirt, something that you're going to put on a sticker. Frank Ocean, Blonde, like you look at like how that has become like a cultural mainstay. You look at every time Tyler the Creator drops something, art direction, like it
The
becomes
flowers,
a thing. Like it like you can kind of like put time capsules on each and every one of his albums, so they live on even when he's not
releasing
marketing
music
them or whatever.
anymore. Yeah.
Other people start other people start making art to this day about like Tyler the Creator or Travis Scott, or like a graphic designer will take his own skills and edit more Travis Scott pictures than their own
stuff.
because of like the visuals that like Travis Scott, like you can you've kind of like lifted a feeling in them. So yeah, it's an under like valued, I wouldn't say undervalued, but like underutilized, I guess. People just kind of think
They
like,
really
just slap whatever
overlook
you
it.
put,
Whatever it is.
but like I feel like that's kind of like, as much as you, when you're track listing and when you're thinking like, okay, cool, which song are we gonna drop first, you kind of have to put that same emphasis on how are we gonna package this thing. If we're using red for this song, everything that's associated with this song kind of has to be red, because for that feeling. Now it's Pride Month. People start every
all
color,
types of colors,
and then
bro.
now we're like confused.
Like, are you?
Is
What's
this a
like?
sad
What's
song?
going on? We don't know.
So you kind of have to think about that when you. I like that you asked that question, because I'm very passionate about album covers. Like I collect, like I'll literally be saving some on my phone. Like, oh cool, this one's nice, this one's nice, this one's nice. Even just like on Spotify, sometimes you just click on a song
because it looks nice.
Yeah.
So sometimes people do judge a book based on its cover.
Not all the time.
All
like
the
every
time.
book, which
All
book
the
is not
time.
judged by its
All
cover?
the
Like
time.
I feel like if books weren't judged by their covers, it'd just be like blank covers with just like the name, and then
it's
like
those Shakespeare items. Those collectible items.
Yeah,
and they're all
like
blue,
the
or they're all like red with a gold title.
But that's like once they're like
Those
they've
are
become
classics.
iconic.
Exactly.
Yeah, like where people are like, okay, cool, I now want to collect it. But then a lot of the times, people, when they have their bookcases and bookshelves and all of this stuff, like why people collect vinyls? Like it's just that maybe in Zim there was never that like vinyl collecting. Like people collect vinyls of like albums that they don't particularly listen to, but like because it looks nice.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like what I was saying earlier about just like liking things because they look cool.
They look cool.
It's
true.
I'm not in the minority. There's so many people that just
That do
attach
that.
themselves to things because it's cool.
To be honest, I do that all the time. There's a bunch of stuff that I have that I don't particularly like, but they look cool,
and
and
then
I'm like,
you're drawn to it, and then
yeah.
so yeah, that's something that people just need to
really tap into.
Yeah, like, bro, like, make your stuff look cool.
Yeah,
like, I
mean,
feel like
just
that's
invest
the
as much
I know
money.
you didn't ask me for advice, but, like, you know, just make your stuff look
Make
cool.
your stuff look cool, bro. And I feel like also
Everything
like
you do, like, ask yourself, like, is this cool?
is it cool?
Especially
Do I
with
know
hip
what's
hop,
cool?
bro, like, or any genre, because, like, you know, if it's uncool, you know, like,
It's lost, bro. It's lost. But
That-
anyways, I feel like our production team is giving us some hints to wrap this up. But
yeah.
is there anything that you wanna tell the people? Do you wanna plug yourself? Do you want what you're trying to do?
Well, I came to talk to you.
Okay, so bye.
People cool and all. Like, we can talk for hours.
For
but
hours
like,
and hours.
yeah, you know, people can just like check me out on Scribbler HT on everything. Well, just yeah,
You can do
just
the album arts
yeah.
as well.
Oh yeah. I
you
do those.
know?
I do those. I do a bunch of stuff. You can just check out the stuff that I have. If you want to
Yeah.
collab, then we see what we see
Love
when
one.
we see it.
Awesome, right? Thank you so much for taking time. We are about to continue our conversation, but off camera because y'all don't need to know.
Nah, like, I really
we're
need
about
to
to talk
check out
about.
that fit, like, because it seems like you
Hey,
are
bruh.
competing with me.
You know what I'm doing? Eh? You used to say there's a quote. I'm gonna find it. I remember I took a screenshot. Like I think it was 4 years ago, and you're like, Shelly thinks she has the monopoly on sweaters.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Because I remember, like, you used to be like the sweater queen, and then I was like, what are these people?
They don't know.
I went and copped like 6 of those. I was like,
No, I love to be an
Affirmative
influencer.
action.
I'm an affirmative action. You know, I'm a part-time influencer. But anyways, Roy, thank you so much for coming, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do be sure to check out his stuff on Instagram. We are going to tag his stuff below: his Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, his Linktree, everything. We're just gonna put it there in the caption, and please do check it out and check out some of the stuff that is
you're
done
literally
before.
helping my exes to find me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, like, I was trying to hide.
We're trying to hide now, but it's on private, so you need to go through the process first. But yeah, Roy, thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Charlie.
Of course, all the time, always. You're here.
I want to be back.
Oh my.
I'm back next week.
Obviously, bro. It's your home. It's your home. Mi casa, su casa. Peace.